Hello and welcome to this edition of Dirt Talk with Drake York, and I'm here with owner of Kevin Shera Designs, Kevin Shera himself. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And Kevin, not feeling as good or as he should be today, but fortunate enough that you're on the show, and thanks for coming even though you're not feeling so great.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Kevin, let's jump on into this. How were you first introduced to the sport of racing?
The first memories I have was my dad had a IMCA modified when I was 5-6 years old, so he was always working on that. Had some drivers for him back when I was a little kid, and going to the sprint car races when I was a little kid, like coming down to Chico all the time, and just idolizing all those guys in mid '80s and late '80s. So it's kind of like the era where I kind of got hooked on all that stuff.
What did you drive throughout your racing career? I know sprint cars. I'm sure most people remember you driving sprint cars, but did you drive anything else during that time period when you raced?
I started in go-karts at Red Bluff. Started in box stock and moved up through all that. And then actually took a couple years off of racing and thought I was going to be a motocross racer. And I got hurt a couple times right away, so switched back pretty quickly. That didn't pan out. And then got back in around sprint car stuff and started driving my own stuff around 2002, 2003 right there.
And as you just mentioned, the sprint car racing, a couple years ago you stepped away from that. Why did you stop, and do you still miss it?
I still miss it a lot. You know, it's hard just to walk away. I still feel like there's like we didn't really get to do what we're capable of, and had some hard luck at times, and so I feel like a lot of people around me kind of know that there was more there that we didn't really get to show at times, and so it's hard just to walk away from that. But the last time I quit, I just kind of agreed to step away and focus on business for a while, and also my kids are getting older, so work with Ryland's going to be racing this summer, and get involved with him and kind of focus on him. So nothing I need to be out there doing right now.
What's your favorite track that you've raced at? You were talking about Red Bluff, and I know you've raced at Silverado a lot, and the motocross too. But out of all those tracks, what was your favorite?
Any go-kart stuff, I always liked Red Bluff more. It was just more technical. It wasn't just like a motor track than Cycland. And in the sprint car stuff, probably Tulare and Cottage Grove were my favorites.
Where's somewhere that you didn't get to race but you wanted to race?
Paris. I never got to do anything at Paris.
Yeah, my dad's a big guy at Paris. Did you want to do wing or non-wing there?
I didn't really care. I just opened for anything there. I just never really got to go down that far.
So you mentioned that you stepped away because of your business and your family, but do you think we could see another one-off deal from Kevin Shera?
I'm not going to say no, if the right deal came along, but that's kind of what hurt like the last 4 or 5 years is people like kind of talked me into coming back racing and made all these promises and didn't really come through with everything, so like the deals weren't as good as they looked. So it kind of burnt me out dealing with some of those deals and some of those people that came along and made all those promises. So.
You mentioned Ryland is going to race later this summer, but do you have plans for Reese as well to race?
We have no plans for Reese. If it was up to my wife, she would try to keep her away from all the racing stuff, and she wants a little girl to do dance with and cheerleading and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure she's going to try to steer her away if possible.
So Ryland's going to race at Cycland this summer?
Yeah, I think we're going to race a little bit at Cycland just to kind of get his feet wet, and then probably like hit Red Bluff for sure, like kind of run there for points next year.
Who did you look up as a kid to drivers or design members that designed race cars?
When I was little, like Brad Doty was my favorite, and Steve Kinzer, obviously, like you couldn't help but like him and admire him for what he did back at that time. And then like I always liked like Davey Allison and a couple of those guys back then. But design-wise, I was like infatuated with Randy Frank, watching him like hand letter stuff as a little kid. He'd come out in our garage and stay for a couple days and hang out and do the race car and sometimes like I know one time he hung from the rafters in the garage to like do the roof number, and just watching him do some of the crazy stuff he did was pretty cool back in the day. And more like when to like kind of got me started in design stuff and helmet painting is how I started. And so my idol back then was Troy Lee. So he was kind of like the hot helmet guy, back when I was a little kid, and really getting big, and like the first one to really make a name for himself like nationally, that really made a big impact like that. So he was kind of stuck with me that way.
Yeah, you mentioned Troy Lee. Troy Lee does all the NASCAR driver stuff, or most of the NASCAR driver stuff. So really good designer. Seen a lot of his designs look good, but not as good as yours, Kevin. I've seen you do some pretty cool stuff with race cars before. Like maybe later if we post it on Facebook, there is wing panel designs on the floor. We're in his printing room currently right now, and there's just wing panel designs and stuff like that on the floor. So it's really cool. But how did you get into the designing business?
Like I said, I started in helmet painting, and I was about 14 when I actually started doing it to make money, and I started doing just friends and people that we came across. So I did that for 3 or 4 years. I started getting into Harleys and boats and stuff like that, and then right about like the time that like vinyl was kind of like really like starting to take over, as far as like hand lettering and that kind of stuff was kind of phasing out more with race car stuff. The vinyl was taking over, and about the same time I got into got a little cutter and started doing go-karts and sprint cars, and just kind of kept growing from there. So I think it was about 21 when I had my first shop in Chico. But even like my senior year in high school, I had a little shop in Reading going and making pretty good money for being 17, 18 years old.
Well, fast forward to here today, you got this big, nice shop, all this cool stuff. Got a lot of stuff going for you right now. But now, where do you see this business in 10 years?
10 years, I want to be retired. Ideally, it looks big, and we got a lot going and a lot of employees. So it's pretty exciting looking, but it's a lot of headache too. Like dealing with it. Like right now on the job board, we have 110, 112 jobs, and it's pretty stressful just to like try to manage that much stuff going on at once. So I figured if I don't quit within 10, 15 years, I probably won't live very long.
A lot of cars around here, Silver Dollar Speedway, Cycleland, and a lot of other neighboring tracks. You do a lot of vinyl for the drivers. How does it make you feel when you go to the racetrack and you see a car that you did the vinyl on at the racetrack and running well?
It's still, it's cool to see that still. I thought that would kind of wear off over the years, and like like kind of that you get over that to see it, but it's still cool. Like, even at Red Bluff last weekend, we went up for the West Coast Nationals, and it's like we were kind of like paying attention in the A mains, and we had like at one time the top 10 in the open A main were all our cars. Like that's pretty good out of like 16, 18 that started, and the top 10 were all our cars. So it's like it feels kind of good now that it's like in a way kind of like like we dominate that area. So it's kind of cool that we've kind of got that big, I guess.
Do you feel like a sense of accomplishment when you got that many cars that you did the vinyl on, running up at the front or winning races?
Yeah, definitely. I think it shows like like people that are serious about their race cars are serious about how it looks, and those are basically the guys for the most part running up front that are taking it serious and want to like portray a good image as well. So obviously like it's cool that we do Indy cars, but it does like look even better that those are cars winning. Like when we do shirts and hats and cars written for like all the best drivers in the area, it's kind of a cool feeling.
What do you do vinyl on here at Kevin Sherr Designs? Do you do it on like anything or certain types of stuff?
We still do about probably 40% of our business is still race cars, but we do a lot of commercial wraps, like trailers and boats and vehicle like signage for advertising, and then the other probably like 25-30% of our business is like the apparel side of everything. We're doing like embroidery on hats and t-shirts and custom screen print stuff.
What was your favorite car that you drove based on looks? I remember, I think it was 2010, it was black, yellow, and a little bit of orange on it. That's probably the Kevin Scher car I remember the most, but which one was your favorite that you drove?
Actually, I like that one a lot, and probably because that was like my last car. You know, I drove for other people, you know, 2 or 3 rides since then, but that was my last car that I owned, so it probably meant a little bit more to me. But it was pretty like bright, you know, and stood out, so I kind of like that car. Some of the Dutch Brothers cars look pretty good, but I would probably say that 12 car is my favorite too.
Did you ever think when you started Kevin Scher Designs, did you ever think that you would be doing the vinyl, autograph cards, apparel stuff for all the big name drivers in California?
No, I didn't really know like it would go to that level, I guess, you know. So like, you know, you mentioned like doing stuff for other drivers, like, you know, right now like we just printed shirts for Brad Sweet, you know, and they still do stuff for Kyle Larson off and on, and you know, and it's pretty cool, like even to be able to still stay in contact and do work for some of those guys that gone on to NASCAR and Outlaws, and so it's pretty cool to see all that.
What is your favorite part about owning Kevin Scher Designs?
Wow.
I'm sure it's stressful.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of positives right now. You know, I mean, I guess to a point, you know, I work 12, 14 hours a day, you know, so I put in a lot of time, but I do have freedom, you know, like my family and I can go on vacation, you know, 2, 3 times a year, so it's like we work hard, but, you know, I also get to take off and do some stuff, and if I want to go to a race, you know, like usually if I plan for it, you know, I can make that stuff happen. So we do have some freedom on that side of it too.
What do you like to do outside of work and racing?
About all I do anymore, you know, is just hang out with the kids and with Shelby, and you know, we go to Rebel Up, or I might go to like 1 race a week, or you know, here and there. But for the most part, I work, and in the evenings we just hang out with the kids, and on the weekends we kind of make it about them and try to focus on their time.
What would be your ultimate dream car, which is a street car?
Street car? I don't know. I honestly, like, the older I get, the less I care about street cars. You know, like I used to be all into cars when I was younger, and now like I don't care. Like I have like a new truck and there's nothing done to it. It's just basic, and I'm totally fine with it. So like, I think when you to a point, like you kind of get over like the flash and you know, the fanciness of it, so I guess I'm just getting old.
Well, what I think would be cool, remember that 12 car we were talking about earlier? What I think would, I don't know how this would look exactly, but do that design on your truck.
Oh, no. I don't want to stand out that much. I'd probably get pulled over a couple times a week.
What is your favorite race that you go to spectate at?
Probably Trophy Cup. It's been my favorite race for quite a while. Just the way they do the format, you know, there's always a ton of passing and a lot of action. You know, there's a lot of wrecks. Not to say that like I promote that, but there's definitely a lot to see there. But the biggest thing is the way they, you know, invert everything. They got a pretty good system figured out where like you never watch a race that's like follow the leader there. Like they know what they're doing as far as, you know, how they set all that up, and it's pretty exciting stuff.
Now it's time for our final question, which is the fan zone question, where you, the fans, get to ask a question. And this week's question came in via Facebook from Sean Roll, and he wants to ask you, Kevin, what is your favorite design that you have ever done?
Wow.
It could be like street car, race cars, go-karts, sprint cars, anything.
That's tough. Probably the one that comes to mind is, it's usually like the newest stuff I do. You know, like I like forget about everything else because like I'm trying to come up with new stuff all the time. But the one I'm like most proud of or like excited about right now would be TJ Neto's trailer. I just wrapped his 53-foot like Featherlight a couple weeks ago, and I just like the design on that and how it came out. So that's fresh in my mind. So I'm pretty excited about that one still.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show today. Thank you, Kevin.
Yep, thank you.
And today's show has been presented by this guy, Kevin Shera, and you know that big banner we always have here on the show? This guy did it. Did a nice job at it too. And also, the show has been presented by Tommy Herseth's Vintage Race Cars. And keep on the lookout for the new 2017 sponsor packages. We'll let you know on social media how that's going to work out. And tune in next time.